All right. So hello everyone and welcome to another AMA. We are joined here with the MiRA team. Now I'm super excited to be hosting today's session. There's a lot of things that MiRA is building, therefore a lot of things that you'll get to learn on today's session as well. Now, a little bit of an introduction as far as what you can expect on today's session. We'll be doing a rundown of MiRA's AI-driven destiny and identity layer. Then we're going to continue with the NFTs and digital art marketplace. So you probably could have expected this, but as we are talking about, NFTs and the marketplace for it, we are talking about collaboration with global artists here, which is something that, I personally love to see. We're talking about mutual benefits. We're talking about helping one another out, which is exactly how it should be, right? So after that, we're also going to be talking about the AR and VR immersive experiences. This is probably my favorite topic here, so super excited to be having a conversation regarding this as well. And then lastly, a little bit of useful information on their ChemLink token as well as benefits for its holders. Now, as we're talking about benefits directly for token holders of ChemLink here, you will be happy to know that it's not just, a token without a purpose, but it offers quite a lot of benefits for not only token holders, but benefits directly for the utilities, for the products that we managed to discuss up until this point, right? So it makes perfect sense to throw the token into the mix and, of course, to serve it as kind of like a pillar for the whole ecosystem. So yeah, super excited. Before handing over the microphone to Jade here for the presentation portion, just wanted to drop a kind reminder regarding the ChemLink presale as well. So it just started today at 1 p.m. UTC to be as exact as possible. And of course, if you are interested in contributing to the sale, you can find it on the AMA announcement. We did for that in our main chat once again, so you have everything taken care there. And for any questions, do make sure to also join your Telegram. Now, lastly, just for the layout for all of you listeners here, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently today, all right? So the introduction, the presentation, the debate from, of course, myself as well as Jade is going to be completely the same, just like any other session. The only thing that's going to be changing are the community questions for specifically today's AMA. So the MiRA team, they did express a wish that they would much rather prefer for any questions that you might already have or maybe questions that will arise during the session. They would much prefer that if you can just, send them over. And of course, the team is then going to get back to you after the session. So how we're going to be doing things today is very simple. We're just not going to be doing community questions. But if you do have a question, just, send it over to my DM either now. You can do it during the session. And out of all those questions, we, of course, are going to send it to the MiRA team just so you can get your answers, of course, after the session. And then we're going to be picking 2 best questions out of everything that you send to DM. Of course, I'm going to also type this as Jade is doing the presentation here today for any new users joining, just so everyone is on the same page regarding the rules. And of course, the giveaway portion for the random listeners, that also obviously stays the same. So yeah, just so we're all on the same page. Jade, thank you very much for bearing with me for a little bit of a longer introduction here. It is a pleasure to have you here. Now, for starters, if you don't mind providing a little bit of background information about yourself, and then feel free to just tie it together to the idea behind MiRA. So how everything got started, utilities, basically everything that you want the listeners to know in your presentation. And then we're going to continue with some topics of discussion and questions from my side as well. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining, and the floor is all yours. Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, GemPad, for having me. A huge shout out to everyone tuning today. I'm excited to be sharing what MiRA's all about. And if you want to know more about me, I'm just a girl from China, so my English is much less frequency. So here's the lowdown. MiRA is building the world's first AI-driven cultural identity ecosystem. Think density science, Web3 identity, tokenized fan art, and mixed reality experiences all coming together into one seamless cultural tech platform. It's pretty groundbreaking stuff, and our whole ecosystem is built on 4 core pillars. Okay, let me break them down for you. First up, the AI destiny and identity layer is a privacy-first system that whips up a personalized destiny profile based on birth data plus behavioral patterns. This profile is the foundation for all these personal insights AI guidance and future social matching features. And next, tokenize the fan art and our cultural marketplace. Through our global network of artists and SPVs, we are tokenizing everything from fun art and sculptures to cultural assets and heritage works. And the best part, it lets people own fractions of these pieces and locks in on-chain cultural identity. Okay, then there's the MiRA's AR and VR cultural experiences. We are talking immersive feng shui simulations, spiritual environment, and 3D cultural spaces you can dive into. You can access them right from your smartphone, and they are also compatible with gear like Apple Vision Pro, Unreal, MetaQuest, all the top VR headsets out there. Okay, last but definitely not least, the CAML token economy. The Camel-Link token is the utility backbone of the MiRA's ecosystem. It's what gets you access to premium insights, lets you mint NFTs, participate in governance, interact on marketplace, earn artist rewards, and community incentives. It's the glue that holds everything together. So I'm stoked to be here today to walk you through how all these pillars work in tandem. And now let's jump right into your AMA question. So fire away.
Awesome, Jade. Thank you very much. Now, first and foremost, did want to say that you did a fantastic job, and just wanted to focus on the fact, since you said at the start of the presentation, well, I should say your background introduction here, that your English might not be that good, considering you're from China, and I don't agree with that at all. Your English, it is absolutely fantastic, so don't even worry about it. And again, I do appreciate you providing all the useful information regarding all of the utilities, everything that, of course, the MiRA team is working on, because again, I know that this is something that I already said in the introduction portion of today's session, but yeah, a lot of things in the pipeline here, and I'm definitely excited to be, of course, but specifically using the VR and AR immersive experiences as well. So yeah, as I did mention, we're going to be doing a deeper dive into all the utilities, just step by step, so we can provide more clarity for everyone tuning in into the session. So what I think makes the most sense is with us just focusing towards the AI-driven destiny and identity layer first, and then we're going to cover all of the other pillars as we progress in today's session as well. So one thing that I was wondering specifically here, and this is all speaking about all the utilities here, they're very unique, right? Which is exactly what I like to see in Web3, in let's say newly immersed projects here. And what I specifically like with the AI-driven destiny identity layer would be the insights it offers. Again, a lot of things here. But what I wanted to focus towards would obviously be, and this probably comes as no surprise, towards specifically the, let's say, security in this, decentralized environment that we are currently in. So considering one of the things as you get started with this AI-driven destiny and identity layer is the fact that one of those information that you need to fulfill would obviously be your birth data as well, right? So I guess you could say a little bit of more sensitive information regarding we are in DeFi here, right? So of course, my question here would be, if we're talking about specifically the birth information and other sensitive topics here, just want to know how you're planning to keep all this information from users not only secure, but also private, and once again, this decentralized environment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course, I understand all your concerns. Security and user privacy are more a core principles at MiRA. We have built our system with a privacy by design architecture. Here's exactly how we keep your data safe. First off, we never store birth data centrally. All sensitive inputs gets encrypted right away, and it's only tied to user wallet, and that's the ID-based tag, meaning it's linked to your on-chain identity, not your real-life name or details. So you are always in full control, not us, not any third party. And next, local processing plus zero knowledge patterns. Here's the key. We minimize raw data handling and store only our AI extracted insight vectors, not raw birth information. And then there's on-chain proofs, off-chain privacy. The system uses blockchain for verification, not for storing sensitive data. And finally, fully anonymity. Always. A platform never asks for a name, phone number, or any personal ID like ever. This ensures the Destiny engine remains deeply personal, but never intrusive. Like your data stay yours like always. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect, Jade. I just wanted to say that you definitely provided all of the useful information regarding, well, everything that I needed to know and something that I would assume a lot of users would be wondering as well. So thank you very much. Definitely inspires confidence, which is exactly what I like to hear at the end of the day. Now, if we just for a moment here, we of course are still talking about specifically this utility, this feature, well, personalized insights, right? Something that you already kind of started to talk about in your presentation, and definitely something that once again, I know that I already mentioned this, but I find very unique, something that I'm sure that a lot of participants are going to be happy with using as well. And what I wanted to know with your personalized insights, let's say that I set everything up, and let's say that you as a person, of course, maybe you get some other hobbies, maybe some of the things that you like to do, they change over time. So throughout, let's say, personalized insights that this platform would be providing you, I'm just kind of curious to know, with all the information that you setting up as you are, of course, setting up your profile here, if this will remain static, or if your, let's say, personal interests, anything of that nature, as they change during time, if your personalized insights will cater to that. So let's say if they adapt over time based on your behavioral patterns, or if we're just talking about a kind of a static way of personalized insights always being the same, regardless on, let's say, your behavioral patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, that's a great question. Okay, let's break down what these personalized insights actually look like. It can be divided in four categories. First up, personality traits. So this covers your unique communication style, how you tend to process emotions and social behavior patterns. And next, life patterns. Here, you will get insights into lock cycles, opportunity periods, caution periods, and practical timing recommendations. And then there's career and relationship tendencies. We are talking about work style compatibility and relationship alignment and your long-term potential analysis. And last but not least, lifestyle recommendations. So this includes energy management, health reminders, and even timing suggestions like auspicious days. I want to note a biggest thing. These insights are practical, not mystical. We design them to cut through the noise and give users clear guidance for every decision. So that's for all.
Perfect. Absolutely amazing. And again, I know that I said this already, but I'm definitely excited to be trying this out for myself as well. Definitely something that is useful in your everyday life, right? So, Jade, thank you very much. Now, an add-on to what you were just mentioning here, I would kind of say let's just say a social feature, right? If that makes sense. So considering we're talking about all of the things that you can use on your platform to your advantage as far as careers go, behavioral patterns for relationships, absolutely anything, right? So throughout that, as multiple people, let's say that you onboard quite a lot of users, if you also are planning, let's say, further down the line to add a sort of like a social feature on the app, on the platform here, where let's say that if you have two individuals with perhaps similar interests, that they could, let's say, get in touch with one another, maybe for relationships, maybe for friendships, anything of that nature, where you could actually contact one another if you see that you have similar interests, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You mean social features for users. Okay. Social layers are totally in the works. It's already in our product pipeline. Let's take a peek at the social features we are developing. So first up, destiny-based matching. So you will be able to discover other users who have compatible feed structures or share similar personality vectors. And we creating destiny circles where you can join like mandate people based on shared traits or life cycles. And we also got AI guided interaction tools. So this includes an AI keyboard that helps break the ice and make conversations flow smoother. No more awkward silences when meeting new people. A quick note, we'll roll out these social features gradually, and privacy protection will always be our top priority. Your safety and your safety and data safe come first, like always.
Awesome, perfect. Definitely happy to hear that. Well, specifically regarding the privacy as well as the social features actually being added as you progress. So perfect. Thank you, Jade. Thank you very much. Now, just the last thing that I wanted to know specifically regarding this before we continue with the NFT and digital marketplace. So just a fairly simple one for, let's say, anyone that is tuning in. And of course, for myself as well, if I would like to use this once you release it, I'm just wondering if this is, let's say, the first version being free, and then if you have any add-ons, kind of like a premium version of it, if this is something that you're going to be planning to release with a maybe like a subscription model, maybe that you're going to have to hold a certain amount of Camlink tokens to access premium features, anything of that nature. So just wondering if it's free or if you have any premium add-ons for a fee.
Yeah, that's a good question about access. So let's break down our current model clearly so you know exactly what to expect. Here's how it works right now. First, basic Destiny insights, that's totally free. And advanced reports and AI guidance, which you can choose to pay for this or get them at a discount using Camel tokens. And then premium features, if you want that, your use our Camel token to access them. We are talking about Destiny updates and compatibility reports, advanced AI agent advance, and governance participation. So we'll announce the final pricing model publicly. But one thing for sure, holding Camel will always unlock extra benefits.
Amazing. Definitely great incentive for, users of the platform to actually become token holders as well. So Jade, thank you very much once again. And with that, we're going to continue with the NFT and digital marketplace here. Something that I'm also excited to be talking about. Well, honestly speaking, all the products that you're going to have available, they're exciting to talk about, at the end of the day. So one thing that I was wondering, so this is specifically tied to one thing that we already mentioned in the introduction. So that would, of course, be collaborations, right? For, let's say, those art pieces where you would then tokenize those art pieces. So I'm just kind of wondering let's say, how the onboarding process for those artists, creators is going to look like. Because, at the end of the day, I would assume that you're going to have, let's just call it an incentive, that you would make a partnership with those creators, with those artists, that you would at the end of the day be able to tokenize what they're making. So those art pieces, let's just say. So at the end of the day, what I'm just wondering here is if you already have any useful information as far as how the onboarding process for those artists will look like and what they can expect with this as well.
Yeah, oh, okay. That's a good question about our artist partnership. Okay, we have built a dedicated program to make onboarding seamless for global creators. It's called the MiRA Artist Silicon Valley. So, which includes artistic review and compliance check, and legal structure setup, digital digitalization and high definition capture, and tokenization design. And launch and promotion, about that, their work goes live on MiRA's marketplace, and we run promotional campaigns. But right now we are working with top tier artists from like China, my hometown, and Japan, Malaysia, and Europe, including sculptors, masters, calligraphy artists, and cultural heritage creators, and so on. We like to work with everyone, every talented artist.
Amazing, amazing. Definitely makes sense, and I do appreciate you providing more information towards, let's say, the future and how you're actually approaching, current things with the artists that you'd be then working with. So, thank you very much, Jade. Now, just the last thing regarding the NFTs and, of course, the associated marketplace with those NFTs. The one thing that I was truly wondering, and this is something that, as I was doing my research, I didn't find a whole lot of information on. So obviously I decided to also strike a conversation regarding this. So I'm talking about the co-ownership feature, right? So throughout that, the only thing that I'm kind of speculating on is the fact that those shares would be fractionalized, right? So for instance, let's say if we're talking about a sculpture here where multiple people would of course be able to own a share of it. So once again, fractionalized shares in this case. So with the co-ownership, I'm just wondering if this is the case, that we're talking about, fractionalized shares for each, let's say, art, each sculpture. All depends on what you'd actually be interested in owning at the end of the day. And what I also did want to know throughout those fractionalized shares, if this is applicable to all types of art, or if this is something that the creator decides on its own. So let's say if you release a art, you tokenize it, if you can just have it, one owner, or if it's, let's say, if it's something that they can decide upon, if they would like to have it with fractionalized shares, just so they can offer, let's say, more types of investors the ability to actually own one, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Like most of our works on our platform will support like fractional NFTs, low entry cultural investment, and shared governance rights for key decision, just like exhibitions and when you like to resell it and more. So the ownership is shared, of course.
Okay,
You
perfect.
say so you say this open we like to open doors for younger collectors and global users to own pieces of cultural assets, and that were previously totally out of reach. Yeah.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking at the end of the day as well, right? Because as we're talking about, fine arts, sculptures, anything of that nature, obviously speaking, if we're talking about, let's say, your average type of investors, usually they would not be able to afford it, on its own if we're talking about just one owning it. So it makes perfect sense for you to be offering co-ownership with the fractionalized shares. So thank you very much, Jade, for providing extra clarity on the matter. And now, if you do remember, as we were talking about the introduction, the thing that I am most excited to be talking about, obviously the AR and VR experiences here. So I do remember in your presentation here that you already kind of provided a glimpse of what's to come with those experiences. So the visual feng shui layouts, for example. But on top of it, if you don't mind just doing a little bit of a rundown, and I'm sure that this is something that's not going to be released, this year, but of course further down the pipeline. But still, my personal curiosity for this, because I do like some AR and VR immersive experiences. I'm just wondering, what is everything that you're offering here? So let's say on top of the feng shui layouts, if I would like to have an immersive experience myself, what is everything that you're offering here, and what's everything that you can actually do if you decide to, of course, jump into an experience yourself?
Yeah, our users can do so many cool things on our AR and VR experiences, are all about blending culture, technology, and personalization. And here's the fun stuff users can dive into, like you can walk through virtual feng shui simulations, and you also can explore 3D cultural spaces. And if you like, you can interact with spiritual environments, which is I like the most. and you can conduct virtual consultations with AI. And you also can visualize destiny patterns as immersive experiences. You can preview art pieces in your home via AR. So you don't need fancy gear. These things work on smartphones, which is absolutely awesome. And of course, on VR headsets, you can do whatever you want.
Perfect. Absolutely amazing. Well, I especially like the fact that you also managed to touch upon the fact that you can use your smartphone for it, right? Because my speculation on it, and this is something that I was not even having a follow-up question, but I do appreciate you mentioning in your question as well. I mean, in your answer, sorry. The thing is, as we are talking about those AR and VR experiences, it's usually associated with you having, high-tech gear, let's say the Quest or anything of that nature. So the fact that you can also do it on your smartphone just makes it even more accessible to absolutely anyone, regardless where you are. So it makes perfect sense. Appreciate you providing additional information on it. And also, something that I did want to touch upon, not necessarily a question, but I also like the fact that all of the products, everything that you're offering as part of your ecosystem, it just fits together perfectly, right? For instance, as you're talking about the AR and VR experiences, you can also, as you mentioned, show your art from home in those experiences directly, which, is a perfect fit considering we were talking about the NFTs prior to that. And of course, also the identity layer being used in it as well. So, perfect fit and makes perfect sense. So Jade, much appreciated. Now, if you don't mind just moving on to the ChemLink token utility, something that I know you briefly already discussed during your presentation, but just if we do a little bit of a deeper dive here, and of course, if that information is already available. So one thing, as far as those benefits go for holding ChemLink tokens, would of course be governance, right? Something that we started to talk about already. But if we just dissect this into kind of like a two-part question, right? So just to provide more clarity for everyone here, with the governance aspect, let's say that I would like to become a token holder once the token is going to be trading on a DEX. Just brings me to the question if I would also like to have voting rights, if I would like to be a part of the governance. I'm just interested to know if the requirements for this have already been decided upon. I assume that it's, holding this and that amount of tokens, but just curious if you can already talk about the requirements in order for you to be a part of the governance.
Yeah, of course, the long-term holder benefits and the governance requirements are the fascinating part to me. Let's break down what we have planned. Even though DAO governance rules aren't 100% finalized yet, but first we will publish the full governance framework publicly once it's ready. And now the exciting part is the planned benefits, which includes voting rights for ecosystem decisions and early access to premium features and reduced fees for transaction or reports, and also priority access to RWA drops and skating rewards.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jade. And
Yeah.
now lastly, yeah, sorry, go for it. If you have an add-on, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I just like to say these benefits, that's all attracts me. That's all attract to me. So I can't wait to buy it.
I mean, yeah, it makes perfect sense at the end of the day. I 100% agree with you because it offers quite a lot. Something I mentioned in the introduction as well. It's not just a token without a purpose, but it fits perfectly in the ecosystem and it just offers benefits on top of benefits. So I completely understand that. And lastly, because I think that you did a phenomenal job of just running the community through everything that the token is going to be, let's say, offering to them if they do decide to either invest to the pre-sale or becoming token holders at a later date once it's going to be live as well. Just the last thing here. As I was doing my research, I also noticed that you have some incentives for the creators, right? So throughout that, I assume that we're talking about sort of like a grant program for creators where if you could see, I don't know, for instance, let's say a creator, an artist of utmost quality, where you could then offer them some of your ChemLink tokens in return for a partnership and, of course, some of their pieces to be tokenized and of course, offered on your platform as well. So just interested to know, with this incentive for creators, if we're talking about, the grant program, if you have any sort of, let's say, criteria, if you are on the lookout for, let's say, artists that do a specific thing, maybe a specific talent that they have, in order for them to qualify for the grant feature and, therefore the partnership with you. Just that.
Yeah, okay. We got an awesome incentive program for creators and artists. So you can think of it as a mix of grants and revenue sharing, which include launching collections and marketing ecosystem support, and revenue share from NFT sales and token-based rewards for top contributors. And if you like to know who is qualifies for the program, the answer will be verified artists, cultural creators, and institutions with proven authenticity. Okay, and highly talented emerging creators. And of course, we will review this on a case by case basis. Our goal isn't just to build a marketplace. If you like to know, we want to create a global cultural network. That's our final goal.
Perfect. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. I do appreciate the transparency added here as well, which just, provides even more information on what you're currently doing, and of course, the future as well. Now, that would be it as far as my questions go. Now, I do just want to say, throughout the community questions here, we already got a bunch of them. So, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter session today, considering that we're going to be skipping the live question aspect here. But again, you're going to get all the DMs here. You're going to get your answers in no time, so don't even worry about it. And as we're doing this for of course, the AMA aspect, if you're still sending over the questions, I'm gonna be accepting those questions to, like, let's say 4 p.m. UTC. So in 26 minutes. So if you have anything else that you want to ask, you can still send over the questions. We're gonna make sure that the MiRA team gets the questions and of course provides you with an answer. But yeah, just wanted to say, has been an absolutely amazing session, even though it was a little bit on the shorter side. Short but sweet, right, at the end of the day. So Jade, I did just want to ask you if you have anything else that you would like to let the community know, maybe anything that you would like to remind them, anything really, maybe some closing thoughts from your side before we close up today's session, and then that would be it.
Okay. As we finish up, I just want to say that MiRA are fantastic product that speaks for itself. It's sleek, reliable, and designed to make your life better. What more could you ask for? We are grateful for every one of you who joined us today and fell in love with MiRA as much as we did. Thank you for your trust and support. Wishing you all the best with MiRA by your side. Thanks again, and thanks host, and thanks everyone, and goodbye for now.
Much appreciated, Jay. Thank you very much for the closing thoughts here. And again, so our community here appreciates you all joining. I do apologize for it being a little bit less engaging as per usual with, the questions being in DM. But I do 100% assure you that you're going to get the answers to your questions in no time as well. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I sure did. Jade, it has been a pleasure to host you. You're a fantastic speaker, and wishing you, as well as the rest of the MiRA team, the best of luck for the sale, as well as the launch. And I do hope that you have a great rest of the day as well.